man has been arrested and charged with the rape and murder of a Colorado woman 41 years after her death, linking him to the crime through DNA. 64-year-old James Herman Dye faces first-degree murder charges in the death of Evelyn Kay, who was sexually assaulted and strangled in November of 1979. Day was a 29-year-old married mother of 2 young children. She worked at the Ames Community College in Greeley. She worked night shifts as a business lab monitor while her family slept. She was last seen alive by a student in a car in the campus parking lot at 10 p.m. on the 26th of November 1979 when the two left the building. When she didn't return home the following morning, her husband Stanley Day reported her missing. Later that day, at 5:30 p.m, co-workers noticed Day's car, which was a red Datsun station wagon, parked under a water tower beside a road. It was just a few blocks away from the college. They inspected the vehicle and found a lifeless body in the back of the car, and the authorities were contacted. It was determined that she had been raped and strangled using the cloth belt of her overcoat. First responders collected evidence from the crime scene, and several leads were developed and followed up on, but no arrests were made, and the case went cold. On the 1st of May 2020, cold case detective Byron Castellan was assigned Day's case in an effort to solve it. He requested the crime lab to use the DNA evidence collected from the crime scene and run it through the CODIS DNA database. The results came back on the 26th of August last year and showed the DNA from the rape kit matched Dye, as did the DNA from Day's coat sleeve and scrapings from her fingernails. Through further investigative work, it was determined that Dye was enrolled as an automotive student at the same campus Day worked at the time of her death. When Day was murdered, Dye came home that night with blood on his clothes and explained to his then wife Maria Hawkins that someone had been killed near the campus, even though the story was never featured on the news. Castellan then interviewed Dye's ex-wife and his 2 sisters. The defendant's sister Shira Kubaski said that Dye's mother Viola Dye even told her that he had murdered Day. The detective also found that Dye and Day had both lived in Evans. Dye had an extensive criminal history in the states of Colorado and Kansas, which included 4 separate sexual assault arrests, 2 of which involved minors. He was also arrested for luring a woman by asking her for a ride, then giving her directions down an isolated dirt road where he raped her. The detectives believe it's highly probable that Dye did the same thing to Day. On the 22nd of March 2021, 2 detectives travelled to Kansas and took Dye into custody. They'd interviewed him in Wichita, where he denied having any knowledge of Kay or been responsible for her death. Weld County Sheriff Steve Reams said the arrest of Dye was something celebrated by those who serve and protect the residents of Weld County. The day Dye was linked to the case was a day we celebrate. A lot of high fives in the office, Reams said. I think the suspect was very surprised to be arrested. Day's family members said they were ecstatic to see an arrest in the case they assumed would never be solved. Dye, who lives in Wichita, Kansas, is being held in the Sedgwick County Jail, pending extradition to Weld County, where a court date is yet to be set. A 30-year-old man has been charged with murder over a death of a baby girl. 3-month-old Alicia was admitted to hospital on the 12th of March after suffering horrific brain injuries stemming from an incident located at a home in Girraween, which is a suburb in North Perth in Australia. Alicia died 2 days later after succumbing to her injuries. The accused, Zach Mirror, who's not the father of the child, fronted Perth Magistrates Court on Monday via a video link from Hakea Prison. He was originally charged with grievous bodily harm, but was upgraded to murder. His relationship with the child is not yet known, however the incident occurred on Mirror's birthday. The baby's father, Robert Ahrens, posted a eulogy on Facebook, describing his daughter as perfect and adorable. I honestly can't help it but smile every time I looked at her, or even a picture of her, he said shortly after she was born. Those close to the family responded saying that the loss of their beautiful little princess Alicia was taken from them at such a precious young age. We're all in absolute shock and disbelief that such a tragedy has taken place. Mirror was remanded in custody and is yet to enter a plea. His next court appearance will be on the 28th of April as the investigation into the matter continues. 28-year-old Ann Akers has been charged with attempted murder of a 3-year-old daughter after stabbing her in the neck with scissors. The incident occurred around 10:50 a.m. on Saturday morning on the 27th of March. in the 1300 block of Hathaway Drive in Silver Spring, Maryland. Akers' father arrived at their home and found a trail of blood on the floor and scissors in the hallway, and he immediately contacted 911. When first responders arrived, they entered Anne's bedroom and found her there hiding something under a blanket. When they took the blanket away, it revealed a young girl with a large life-threatening laceration to her neck. Anne had also stabbed herself in the neck. Officers began first aid treatment to the girl's injuries, and she was airlifted to a local hospital, where she managed to survive the horrific attack. Doctors at the hospital who treated the girl commended the officers' actions in helping save the girl's life. They said that if the girl hadn't received immediate care, she would have died. Anne was also taken to a hospital with serious injuries and received treatment. She's charged with attempted second-degree murder, first-degree assault, and first-degree child abuse. During a court hearing on Monday, a judge ordered Akers to meet with a psychiatrist to see if she was mentally fit to stand trial for murder. Her next court appearance is scheduled in 1 week's time. Akers is held without bond at the Central Processing Unit. The motive of the attack is unknown. However, court records from 2019 show Akers filed a complaint for custody of the girl.